stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time. Same way, then don't pretend that everything's okay. Don't string me along the way you do. Just let me get over you. Maybe you don't wanna know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time, no. I don't wanna waste my time, no. Maybe you don't wanna know, you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe I'm not enough for you, so maybe I should go. If I had known from the start, this wouldn't have ended with broken hearts. 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time, no. I don't wanna waste my time, no. No, I don't wanna waste my time.
Hey, I heard you got a new best friend. Yeah, it hurts a bit, I won't pretend that it doesn't matter that you're with someone else. In a way, that's how it's supposed to be. If I'm unable to make you happy, then it's for the better that you are not with me. That's why I wrote you a letter. 'Cause you see, I write so much better than I speak. And I need to tell you, you were my best friend till the end. I hope I'll be happy without you, but right now I don't know what to do. It's hard to get over you chose someone else, best friend. Doesn't feel like it was long ago. We were head over heels in love, thought it'd last forever, but somehow we got lost. Looking back, I didn't realize what was wrong with me. I can't deny I took you for granted. You finally had enough. best friend. Yeah, it hurts a bit, I won't pretend that it doesn't matter that you're with someone else. That's why I wrote you a letter, 'cause you see, I write so much better than I speak. And I need to tell you, you were my best friend till the end. I hope I'll be happy without you, but right now I don't know what to do. It's hard to get over, you chose someone else, my best friend. It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall apart to let you in. My friends say the time's running out, so take the chance. Make a move, 'cause this door won't stay open till the end. Won't you tear my world apart? 'Cause I know I need a start to let you in. When it's over, I will see what I've done. Letting go too soon. Oh, I'd be stronger if you just step right in. 'Cause I need a start to let you in. Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head. And I can't stop thinking about what you said. I gotta tear my wall apart. And it's the only way to start to let you in. When it's over, I will see what I've done. Letting go too soon. Oh, I'll be stronger if you just step right in. 'Cause I need a start to let you in.
A lot has changed since we last spoke. Life's been good to you, and I see that you're with someone new. Maybe you are better off now that you're with him. But when I see your face, I can't stop myself from spiraling. Now I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling down. 'Cause I can't focus when you are around. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. I'm not over you. I'm not over you. doesn't make it easier anyway. Now I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling down. 'Cause I can get myself to focus when you are around. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. I'm not over you. I'm not over you. Yeah, my heart belongs to you, 'cause I'm not over you. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. But I will try my best to carry on without you like you've done. Though I'm lost and out of breath, I will carry on without you like you've done. But I'm not over you. I'm not over you. I'm not over you. Yeah, my heart belongs to you. I'm not over you.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass. I don't need to feel lonely. I am finally home at last. Dad don't mind being gone on adventures for a while. No, no. 'Cause the best thing about it is I know I'm coming back. Oh, oh. Of all the magic places